What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome to the video. This is my match preview to the Arsenal-Newcastle match this weekend. And let's face it, there's not really a lot that needs to be discussed. The simple fact is, for these next 5 remaining Premier League games, the instruction should be, every single time, win the football match. So I'm not going to make this a long one. Let's start with Man City. They did their job. They beat Burnley. Surprised it was only 1-0. I was expecting City to comfortably win that, probably 3 or 4-0, to be honest. So the fact that they only won by 1 goal was surprising. But from the highlights that I saw, I don't think I even saw Burnley create a chance. So the result never really seemed in doubt. And City did what they needed to do. And they now sit at the top of the Premier League on goals scored, I believe, is what's putting them in front of us. So Arsenal now have a interesting home match against Newcastle this weekend. Newcastle have been interesting this season. Did somewhat okay in the Champions League, but in the Premier League they've really struggled. I think consistency has been a big issue for them, and the simple truth is I haven't watched a lot of Newcastle this season, so I really don't know what type of Newcastle is going to show up. But the one thing I do know about Newcastle is whether they're playing well or not playing well, they are a physical, aggressive side who never make it easy. Very rarely you see Newcastle get bopped off the park or beaten handsomely. So this is going to be a difficult game. And the fact that we are not finding it easy to score goals makes me think that this is going to be a really tight game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Arsenal, off the back of that City performance, come into this almost with the handbrake off and knowing full well what they need to do from here on out, which is to win football matches and try and win them comfortably. So I hope that we go in there and we put Newcastle to the sword and we beat them, 3-0. But I think, based on what we've seen from Arsenal and what we know of Newcastle, that's probably not going to be the case. So I was looking at the fixtures. We now have 2 games in the Premier League before Man City play their next Premier League game. So we play Newcastle this weekend, and then next weekend we play Fulham at home. So we have 2 home games against Newcastle and Fulham before Man City come back to the Premier League, where they face Everton away. So the task at hand for Arsenal right now is to beat Newcastle, is to beat Fulham, so that the next time City walk out to a Premier League fixture, they are 6 points behind us, and hopefully there's a little bit of a gap in the goal difference. So that should be the challenge for the Arsenal team over the next 2 weeks. I haven't seen anything from Arteta yet in the ways of pre-match press conference, so I don't know if he's speaking more positively about Timber or Saka possibly returning to the side. I don't think we have any injury concerns post the City game. So I think in terms of starting lineup, David Raya in goal, Saliba, Gabriel. Left back, I'm assuming it'll probably be Nketiah. The team's essentially had a week's rest since the City game, so Calafiori might be back in the squad, but I think he'll stick with Nketiah because obviously he's the one who's played the last few games. At right back, look, again, the fact that Timber wasn't even in the squad for City means that I don't see him starting this match. So he'll either go with Mosquera or White, and it would be great to see Timber on the bench because I do think we've missed him significantly. Zubimendi in the 6. I mean, he's going to play Zubimendi, right? Like he is. So I don't think we even really should bring up that in conversation. I would not be against Norgard or even a Lewis Skelly at this point. I think Zubimendi has been well below standard for a number of months now. And I get the idea of wanting to play him back into form, and I get the idea that he was a big summer signing and he's considered a big part of the way we play, but at some point these players need to know that if they're not producing to the levels that's required of them, that they don't just get automatically selected for the starting 11. So I know it's the business end of the season and we can't afford any more slip-ups. So to make a change like that, for it not to work out and for us to go and lose the game by playing a Lewis Skelly or a Norgard, it would create uproar. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it. Rice will be in the 8. I don't think he will do the Eze and Odegaard combo again. I'm putting Eze in the 10. I'm putting Eze in the 10. I'm starting... Again, the Saka situation is the same with Timber. Saka's been out for a long time. He wasn't in the squad for City. Can you really throw him in from minute 0 in a game like this? I don't think so. So the choice is between Madueke and Dowman. And again, I'm going with Dowman. I am going with Dowman. Madueke was awful against City. Maybe that was off the back of the injury that forced him off in the Champions League game. But for me, I just don't see why Madueke is getting a chance here. Like, put him on the bench, give Dowman a shot. Dowman, if you look at it over the last 3-4 months, he has been our best attacking player. He just has been. It's as simple as that. So let the kid have a go. Like, give him a shot. Give Newcastle something different to think about, something they haven't seen before. I truly believe that Dowman can handle an occasion like this. And then on the left, again, it's a flip of the coin. I think both of these players are well off form, are not to the level that we need them, are not the answer either long-term on the left wing. So at this point, I really don't see the difference between the two. Obviously, they have different attributes. So again, it'll be down to Arteta and the coaching staff to think about how they want to approach this game against Newcastle, the way Newcastle play, and what's going to be more effective. Someone like Trossard, who has got better control of the football, can maybe link up better, can hold the ball better, or someone like Martinelli, who can use his speed to press high, get in behind. You know, it's a flip of the coin for me. And then up front, it'll be interesting to see what he does. Havertz, in my opinion, is the reason why we didn't get anything out of that game against City. I think those missed opportunities by Havertz is just unacceptable at this level. You're the striker, you have to put the ball in the back of the net. And yes, I know he got the first goal, or the only goal, and fair play to him. But I think for this game, bring Gyökeres back in. I mean, honestly, I guess what I'm trying to say here, from Zubimendi to Eze to Odegaard to Madueke, Dowman to Martinelli to Trossard to Gyökeres to Havertz to Jesus, none of them are doing the business. So I'm kind of at the point where it's like, I don't care. Like, I really don't think if you play this over this, I don't think it makes a huge difference, which is really sad. That's not where we should be. 5 games in, we should know our starting 11. We should have players who are absolutely chomping at the bit, who are in prime form, ready to lead us to this title. And yet I can't put my hat on one attacking player, which is really sad, but it's the situation we find ourselves in. So that's my kind of attempt at a starting 11. We have to win. We have to win. There's just every single game, these last 5 games, we have to win every single game. We have to. I've said a few times now that if we had have lost that game against City, I didn't feel like I would be able to really kind of sit here and be like champions of the Premier League if we went on to win it. I'm softening on that because I know at the end of the day, if we get our hands on that Premier League, I'm going to be celebrating like a madman. But what I can say is, if Arsenal win their last 5 Premier League games, given everything that's gone on over these last few months, and obviously after losing to City and City going top, if we're able to kind of steady the ship, hold our nerve, win these next 5 games, and City just drop a point or two somewhere along the line and we manage to win the Premier League, I will be able to kind of sit there feeling very proud of the team, because the simple truth is this team is going through hell right now. You know, starting with the Carabao Cup final, the FA Cup quarter-final loss to Southampton, the loss to Bournemouth, the loss to City, all of the drop points in the last couple of months. This team's on the floor at the moment. and the whole world is laughing at them. So if we were able to kind of regroup, go again, and win these next 5 games, and City slipped up somewhere along the way, that would be something that this team could be really proud of. The fact that they had their wobble, they had that moment where everyone looked at them and said, they're doing it again, I told you they'd do this. And to still go on and win the Premier League, that would be a really big achievement for this side. Particularly when at the end of the day, winning your first Premier League for the first time in 22 years, that was never going to be a straightforward assignment. So, yeah, it is what it is. 5 games to go, we have to win every single one, and it starts this weekend against Newcastle. It will not be easy. I know Newcastle are not in imperious form, and they're not the Newcastle of last season, but they are a very good side, and they've got a very good coach, and they will come to frustrate us. They will come to be aggressive with us, and we will have to stand up to that. And I do think we will have to score at least 2 goals to win this football match. So I'm going to go with a cagey 2-1 win to Arsenal. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who's your starting 11? Who are you playing up top? Are you giving Dowman a chance? What do you think about my Zubamendi shout? What do you think the result's going to be? And what do you think Arsenal need to do between now and the end of the season to get their hands on this trophy? Let me know. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and hopefully we're all very, very happy come Sunday. Cheers.